Hey everyone, and welcome to our Monday dumbbell workout. Today we're going to go through some combination exercises. So when we do this, we're going to make sure that we're working multiple body parts all at once. So it's going to be a little bit of fun, maybe a little bit challenging trying to get your coordination down on some of these movements. So go slow. Pick the reps that work for you, and we'll make sure that we stick to the schedule. So let's get going with a bit of a warm-up here. So we're going to do lateral leg swings. So we're going to do the same warm-up we did last week. So just opening up our hips here. Switching sides. Good. Next, we're going to do mogul hops. So just hopping side to side like this, back and forth, back and forth. Good. Getting our heart rates up and going. A few more seconds. And relax. Next is a bent knee rotation, so on our backs. Bend our knees, drop to one side, contract your abs, bring your legs to center, drop to the opposite side. So we're just going to go back and forth, just getting some mobility in our backs and in our spines, as well as starting to warm up our core. And we can get up. We're going to do lateral stairs next. So if you have a step, you can use it. So I'm using my Bosu ball going back and forth. If you don't have it, you can just shuffle back and forth like this. Just use whatever works best for you. Good. And relax. Second last one, arm circles. So nice and slow, big circles. Get a full range of motion here. Palms up, let's go in reverse. Same thing. Warming up our shoulder blades. And finally, we'll do our punch combination. So we're going to go jab, cross, hook. 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 Good job. All right. So getting into our dumbbell workout today, we're going to start with a squat and press out. So you can use either one dumbbell or two. I'll show you the first round with one dumbbell. So holding it like this in your hands, feet shoulder width apart. We're going to drop down to our squat, press the dumbbell out in front, come back up. So let's get going. 2, 3, 4, 5, pick your own reps. I'm going to do 10 like I normally do. It's not a lot of rest for round one. I'm going to switch to the 2 dumbbells for round 2. So when we do this, so let's get going into round 2. So drop down, straight out, and up. Out, down, out, up. Down, out, up. Down, out, up. Notice how my back's nice and straight while I'm doing this. 7, 9, 10. And I'll stick with the dumbbells for round 3 just so you can see them. From the front. So what's great about the squat and press outs, we still use all of the muscles we'd use in our squat, so our legs, glutes, quads, but then we get our abs involved. So you can tell it's a big combo movement, so I'm breathing pretty hard while I'm doing this. Hard to explain and do it at the same time. Let's go round 3, then we got a minute rest. So down, out, up, down, out, up, down, out, up. 4, 5, 6. Shoulders and biceps get a good workout here as well. 8, 9, 10. Good job. So really good combo there. Working almost everything in our bodies. So we'll get a good rest there. You'll be able to catch your breath a bit. So squats, using all your leg muscles. Then when we do those press outs, you can feel your biceps involved, your shoulders involved. You're going to be using your pecs a little bit. And then the big thing is our core. So our core is really going to get involved there. When we go into exercise number 2, which is a glute bridge with a chest press, you're going to be using all the muscles you would normally do in the chest press. So, your chest, your triceps, your shoulders. But now, since we're in a glute bridge, that hinge position, our glutes are involved, hamstrings are involved, calves are involved. It's going to get our low back and core a bit more involved as well. So make sure you adjust and use a little bit of a lighter weight than you normally would for a chest press or floor press. And we'll get going for our reps. So hips off the ground, then into a chest press. So wrists should be stacked over top of your elbows at all times. So when you're on the ground, it's a 90 position. When you're up in the air, it's a straight line. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this one is one where we'll be able to catch our breath a bit. It's not as big of a dynamic movement such as a squat and the press out, so we can catch our breath. Heart rate should lower a little bit. We can focus on the strength component here. Big thing here, squeeze your glutes, keep your abs nice and tight. Don't let your hips drop as we go into our round 2. I'll show you that side profile this time around. So hips are up, driving into my chest press. The hands are in line with my chest the whole time as I drive up and lower under control. Elbows back down to the mat. And lower. So if you need to make that one harder, obviously you can go heavier dumbbells. The other way you can make it a bit more challenging is you can go into a single leg glute bridge. So I'll try and do that for my last round. So I'll do 5 on one leg and 5 on the other leg for our third set. So up into the glute bridge. Now I'm going to extend one leg like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, and switch. So now my stability is just being put into question a bit more. Having to use that one leg to stabilize and push up. A lot harder on the core as well. Good job, everyone. All right, so we're through our first two, so we're going to do a single leg deadlift to row. You only need one dumbbell for this one. And you'll have a bit of time to recover. We've still got about a minute until we'll get into our single leg deadlift and row. So this one, we're going to use our hamstrings, our glutes, then we're going to use our back a bit. So glute bridge should have warmed up the hamstrings and glutes a bit, as well as our low back. But we can give our chest and shoulders a bit of a break as we do the row component. So what we're going to do is hinge forward into our single leg deadlift, and then when we're stable, do a row, then come back to a standing position. And I'm going to try and do 10 each side in a minute. So there's not going to be a lot of rest in between sets here for me. If you're following along, hopefully you can keep up, but make sure you adjust your reps if needed. So maybe you're doing 5 a side instead of 10 a side. For the first round, I'll face the camera here. So hinging forward, row, up. Hinge forward, row, up. So notice how my off hand is there to help balance me out. And switching sides. At this piece, I'm going to just be going back and forth, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I only have 5 seconds. So this time I'm going to invite the chair in here just to help with the balance side of things. So hinge forward, drive, come back up. So while I'm using the chair, I'm really just trying to use it to help balance myself. I'm trying not to push off of it, try not to put my weight into it. I want to keep my leg loaded as I go through. And switching sides. And barely any time, so I'm just going right back into it. So I'll show you a side profile this time. Still using the chair to help balance for at least my first 5. And then I'll kick the chair away. And you notice right away my balance gets tested. Not to mention that I'm a little fatigued. I'll do a bonus one there. Same thing on the other side. So I'll use the chair for 5. Keeping my back nice and straight. I can really feel this loading in my low back. I'm sure you will as well as you do this. Not to mention your hamstrings. Whew. That was a tough one. So we're halfway through the workout. Again, we'll take a minute rest. Let ourselves recover a bit. I'll explain the next exercise. So high plank kickback is going to be our next one. And so I'm going to use the mat just for a little bit of comfort. So we're going to be in a high plank position. Then we're going to do a tricep kickback. So I'm going to be in a single arm high plank, and I'm going to do 10. Then I'm going to switch the dumbbell to the other side and do 10 on the other side. So we're not going to need a lot of weight here. 10 pounds is about the limit that you're probably going to be able to do. So I'm going to try and do that. If I had an 8-pound dumbbell, I'd probably be using that though. And so let's get up into our high plank. Up, kick back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switching sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. That's a pretty challenging one. So you want to rotate through your core. Your body's wanting to twist because we're in that awkward 3-point position. And then you can probably feel the exercises before starting to hit your core in your low back like it does for me. Try and keep your feet about hip width apart as you can. I'm just using the corners on my mat as a reference there. And let's get going into round 2. So up, kick back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switching sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. It's a tough one. You can really feel that in your triceps, or you should be able to, like I am. I really feel it in my hips as they're trying to keep myself stable there as well. So I'm really working hard to try and keep that position. If you find it a bit easier, what you can do to make it harder, move your feet a bit closer together. If it's too hard, move your feet wider apart if you can. And let's go into round 3 now. So up in that high plank, driving, trying to keep a good rhythm with your breathing as you go about. A little micro break as you switch sides. And another break. So that was a tough one. Keeps our heart rates up pretty good. And we got a well-deserved rest. So obviously that one, all the core muscles that you would use in a high plank position. Now you're going to use a bit more shoulder because you're in a single arm position. And then the kickback obviously targets your triceps. So going into our 5th exercise is the lawnmower pull. So for this one, we're going to start on one side like this in a bit of a split stance. And then you're going to drive and rotate like that. So it's just like you're starting a lawnmower. And again, I'm going to try and do 10 each side, but you can adjust accordingly. So really explosively driving, rotating, swiveling your hips. So it's like if you think of like a golf swing or a slap shot in hockey where you twist your hips that way, it's the exact opposite movement. So you're twisting and opening explosively. All right, let's get going. So down, load, up, explode. Up, explode. Up, explode. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switching sides. So this is going to be the uncoordinated one for me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Until that's going to get hard by round 3. So adjust your weights if you need to. Good, couple deep breaths. And we're getting right back into round 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm kind of popping up onto my toes each time when I do this, flexing my hips and driving, trying to be explosive. So it's almost like I'm getting ready to jump backwards while I'm doing this. Staying tight through my core, though. That's a tough one. So not a lot of time to rest in between. But while I am resting, I'm just trying to get my breathing back. And our last round. Keep the explosiveness. Adjust your reps if you're getting tired. It's better to be explosive and do less reps than try and keep to a rep pattern and get sloppy. And rest for me. Well-deserved rest. Let's catch your breath. Get a drink. And then we'll finish with our last one. Again, we won't need a lot of weight for this one. It's pretty challenging. What we're going to do is be in a side plank. And then while you're in your side plank like this, we're going to do a lateral dumbbell raise. So on your forearms, you may need to go off your knees, especially if your core is getting tired. There's a lot of core involved with all these exercises if you haven't realized. That's why combo exercises are so great. But they're tiring that way. So once you're there, lift back down. I'm going to try and use 10 pounds. I don't know if I'll be able to do it for 3 sets, but I'm going to try. And I'll try and get 10 reps in each side, but you can adjust if you need to. So up into our side plank, lateral raise. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and switching sides. So I'm really trying to finish straight up in the air, right above my shoulders each time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. That one's a tough one, but at least it's not as tough on our respiratory system, so I'm not breathing as heavy as I was on those lawnmowers and some of the other ones. But still a tough one. Let's get ready. Round 2 coming up. 2, 3. While I'm doing this, I'm actively pushing my forearm into the ground, really trying to press into it, not let the weight kind of hit into my shoulder. That can cause some pinching in your shoulder and neck, which gets really uncomfortable. So I'm really actively trying to push the ground away from me. That gets my lats involved. And like I said, takes the strain off the shoulder. Whew. Round 3 is going to be tough for me. Like I said, probably 8 pounds is right for me, but I'm going to push through, try and get the 10 pounds in for the last round here. It's our last exercise, and we'll have a minute to breathe before we get into our cool down. At least we get the micro breaks in between while we switch sides, right? Oh, good job, everyone. Finish up your last reps if you haven't already. Get a drink of water, catch your breath. That was a tough one, especially if core is your weak point. You're going to find that gets challenging. Or if your cardio isn't exactly a strong suit of yours, that can create some problems with that one as well. That type of workout where we're using our whole body. So just breathe and shake out a little bit. Focus on some deep breathing. Trying to bring our heart rate down. Bring our blood pressure back down. And we're going to start with a quad groin stretch to start. So wide stance, drop to one side, keep your chest up, breathe. And switching sides, breathing. And on our mat, hip flexor stretch next. So half kneel, lean forward, arm up. Breathe into it. You can squeeze your glute on the side where your arm's up. And switching sides, same thing, lean forward, squeezing that glute on this hip, lifting that arm up, opening up our obliques. Good. On our backs, T position, bend our right knee over top, grab with your left hand, pull towards the ground, look towards your right shoulder. Untwist, bend your left leg, grab with your right hand, look towards your left shoulder, breathe. Good. Come back into a half kneel position. We'll do a tricep stretch next, so we use them quite a bit today. So arm over top, grab and pull. You should feel it right down your triceps. And switching sides. And next stretch to finish. Oh, we missed piriformis stretch, so I'll go back to that after. We'll finish with piriformis stretch. So grabbing your side, driving your other arm down, switching sides. And onto our backs again. Right ankle over left leg. Grab your left leg with both hands, pull it towards your chest. And switching sides, same thing. And that's it. So do any more cool down stretches that you need. Hope you enjoyed the class. Next week we'll do some more combo exercises, so we'll switch it up and do some new ones. So look forward to seeing you next week. Make sure you check out all our classes throughout the week or on YouTube if you miss them. So take care and see you next time.